Alright, we are trying out something a little new. Going to be trying this as a vertical video, and if you're not seeing this vertically, then that means I probably changed it. But I feel like with a vertical video, you get to see more of the detail up close. And we are also trying it out with me doing a voiceover. So especially if you are one of my patrons, let me know if you prefer to have the voiceover or just to have like a chill video to watch the art process too. But I also thought it would be nice to give a little background for this piece as I'm showing you the process. So the first thing that you're seeing was the original painting that I did digitally. The very, very first iteration of this painting was done physically. I scanned it in and decided to kind of touch it up digitally and just make it a digital art print. And when I went back and looked at it again, I was like, I want to change this, and this, and I think I can do better. But this also being the first card in the tarot deck, being the Fool, this was the first actual tarot card that I designed for mine and Necrostevo's Pokemon tarot deck. We generally do the sketches together and just go from there. I feel like overall they're going much more quickly now that I'm kind of settled into my process and more comfortable with my process. And originally I wanted to have a physical painting for each and every tarot card, and I started to realize that's probably not feasible, or just it's not realistic, because I knew I was going to have to translate them digitally anyway. So I've decided just to do physical paintings for the ones that I feel really called to do that for, and going forward they're pretty much all going to be digital. When I came back to this painting, I really did not like that shade of brown. Even with all the texturing that I had done previously, it just looked so flat and blah, and also just so much like empty space. Like I didn't want to add a whole lot of detail that would take away from Bagon being the central point of the card, but it also just seemed so... just something was missing for sure. Throughout this process, I remembered, one of the sketches kind of had some lower levels to the cliffside in the front with some flowers and things. And I think we had briefly discussed putting in some flower type Pokemon, something along those lines. But again, I didn't want to put too many Pokemon into one card or, draw too much attention. So I wanted to still kind of keep it simplistic, but just make it feel more complete. I think I went into remastering this piece kind of with the mindset that I was just going to change just a couple things here and there. But then I quickly realized I don't like the color of the bag. And I really wanted to give Bagon more texture and more depth, because he also was just so flat. And I didn't like that. I felt like there was just so much detail lacking. So what started out with just having a couple of fixes in mind, it expanded so quickly. From the start, I really liked the background. I was really happy for the most part with the mountains and the sunrise look, and then I liked how the fogginess looked as well. I was really happy with the background overall. So that didn't take too much redoing at all. But yeah, just so happy with the mistiness and the colors and how that came out. And when it came to his bag, I realized I just didn't like the red. It just seemed to clash with everything else that was happening in the picture. So I just opted for a more like muted purplish that kind of matches everything that's already happening. And I feel like it flows so much better in the end result as well. And since this is coming out in the month of Easter or Ostara, just the start of spring, I thought it would be really fitting. It really fit the time of year that I was releasing this for my patrons, and also just the time of year and the card, because the theme of the card is new beginnings, new starts, and that's kind of the whole spirit of spring, of Ostara, and I thought a Pokemon egg was just too perfect and was like a nice little added detail without taking too much of the focus off of Bagon, and really just added to the whole the deeper meaning behind the tarot card itself. I was really torn here with the flowers because I liked the colors, but at the same time they seemed to be like too much, just too eye-grabbing. So I went instead with a purple, kind of like delphiniums or lupins, something like that in that realm of flower, and it went well with the mist and the mountains. And of course we've got to do a coloring sheet. So this is the coloring sheet layer, just going over it and making sure it all looks clean and crisp for when it gets printed out as a coloring page. And there we are. Thank you so much for watching the video, and let me know if you like this format for the future.